Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to a quick little video about some tips for the new skill tree and building out mechs under the new skill tree. So recently a couple people have been asking me about tips and how I've been building out mechs since the new skill tree has gone live. Well, I thought instead of just typing in my answer and kind of giving a really long paragraph or whatever, I decided I'm just going to tell people in a video. So, in this episode, MechWarrior Online, skill tree tips. Tip number 1, build out your mech according to how you play and the enhancements. So number 1, I'm looking at my Trebuchet 3C here, for example. It has, off the top of my head, I don't remember. It's got 2 missile, 4 energy, and an AMS. The consumables, or sorry, enhancements on it, or quirks as they used to be known as. I have energy heat, a reduction of 10%. LRM spread, reduction of 5%, so my missiles cluster a little bit better. I have an LRM cooldown of 15%, which means my weapons actually cool down, basically rearm 15% faster. The heat generated off my LRMs is reduced by 10%, so they create 10% less heat when fired, and last but not least, they go 10% faster. So we fire quicker, we fire cooler, we fire more concentrated, and the missiles themselves go faster. So overall, very efficient, enhancements. More like efficiencies, really. I'm not saying the name's wrong, but. So what I do is I look at what my enhancements are and I build out my mech with that in mind. So for example, my 3C here, I've got 2 LRM 10s, 20 theoretical points of damage, and 3 medium lasers. Now you can kind of augment this if you wanted to or whatever. This is just a generic build that I came up with on a mech that I haven't really played. Now, what I do next is I'll play a match. And with that match, I will feel out my mech, see how it worked, see how the match went. If, for example, it was like a 12-2, 12-3 stomp in either direction, and I only did say 100, 150, or I did a lot of damage. Usually, if it's a massive team-beating match, I will ignore all aspects. What I'll usually do is play 3 to 4 matches to feel out the mech. Feel if it's just doesn't have the maneuverability, it doesn't have the survivability. If it has those, how was the firepower? How was the weapons? How were my sensors? Did I see the people I needed to hit? With my missiles, was I hitting well with my missiles? Was there a range issue? Was there a heat issue? Was there a cooldown issue? What were the things this mech can really get enhanced on? And that's what I would do. So the next stage will be, okay, well, I earned X amount of skill points. Let's get them. So I would go say I noticed that my LRMs are good. I did pretty well, but in the first stages of the match, the first initial engagement, I was outranged, and I really couldn't get in there and do as much damage as I wanted to. So say I wanted to get the range. Do it. Well, this comes to the next part where a lot of people are having issues. They want to click them, they want to buy them, but they can't do it. If you don't know how, this is the first way you do it. When you have your old mech and you want to transfer XP from the old system to the new one, just type in here, that's my dryer, and you hit transfer XP. I've now transferred the old XP from my old mech onto my new one. If it's above 800, you can buy a skill point. You can also transfer your old skill points, I did that a little too fast, by clicking add SP. Let me do that again. Add SP up here, and clicking use available skill points. This is the stuff you earned in the old prior system. I earned 3 for this mech, specifically in the old system, but I also have 3,722 from the general skill point system, and I have my arm reached out for the refunds associated with some stuff. Down here, it also shows me right now. I currently have 0 available, but I require 3 for what I want to do, which is perfect. So we hit OK. There you go. Now, you can transfer a full 91 if you want to. You can have 91 active at any given time on your mech. You can unlock, if you wanted to, all 237, but you can only have 91 active at any given time. To be 100% honest with you, going beyond 91 is a complete and utter waste. Now, we have our 3 skill points. We can apply them. We can apply changes. We get our ranges. You can see here, right now we're going to get a +3 range. Now, before you do this, there's one thing you can do real quick. If you want to see exactly what the weapon, what the quirk you did, or the enhancement you just did, before you save it, you can actually go back into your loadout screen and see your weapons and go, okay, well, my LRM-10s, if I click on them here, well, look at that. The max range is 900 meters, but I just added 27 meters to them. So both optimal and max range. My projectile speed is going to be 16 additional meters per second, how fast they go. My missile spread is going to be reduced by almost half a meter, which is good. I think it's 4.2 meters in total is how the actual missiles spread out. So if you fire one, you fire it down, they'll actually spread over 4.2 meters. But now they're just going to spread over basically 4 meters, which is almost the size of the mech. So almost all our weapons are going to hit. The odd one might miss because of the way the arms are maybe on the mech we're aiming at. For our energy weapons, well, our medium lasers, like that, we reduced our heat efficiency by 4. I think that's actually the augment on them already. Yeah. But our medium lasers, well, look at that. I can't keep my mouse on it. Our max range is now increased by 16 meters in conjunction with the 540 base. So now we're at 566 or 556 for max range. Optimal range is 278 meters. Now, one thing you need to learn about this stuff is you will actually see it in-game. You can't see my hands. You'll actually see it in-game later on down in the bottom, like down over on the side there. When you actually play the match, it'll actually show you the max range of 540, or of, in this case, 556. This just shows you this is the base, and this is what it's being augmented by, which is good. So, we beefed up our range. So after that match, and after I misclick everywhere, we found that we were able to engage perfectly fine. But, you know what? I don't feel like we were at the optimum range we could have been. But at the same time, I found that our weapons, we couldn't fire as many as we wanted to. Heat was not a problem. I noticed that the main problem here was that we couldn't get enough rounds down range. We were firing a lot, our heat efficiency is really good, but in the end, we just didn't have the DPS, the damage per second available. Well, we can change that. 2 ways. Number 1, we can go down the right side of the tree here and get some cooldowns. Cooldown basically is the recharge rate for your weapon, whether it be lasers or the rearm rate or the reloading rate of your ballistics and your missiles. And recharge, obviously, for your projectile cannons as well, your PPCs, and so on. So we can go down the right side of the and get some cooldowns so our weapons recharge faster, or we can go down the left and go down the cool side and all that stuff. Forewarning, there is a bit of a discrepancy in the weapon tree. It's very simple. On the left side of the weapon tree, there's actually more heat generation enhancements than the right. I believe there's 8 on the right and 10 on the left, or I can't remember exactly now. Let's just count, shall we? So on the left, we're going to go right down the center, and we're going to go left. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on the left. On the right, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 8 and 6. So, if you are worried more about the heat, but like the cooldown and the range and everything, go to the left. If you're not too worried about your heat, you can go right, because there's less heat generations and there's more cooldowns on ranges, I believe, on the right. Overall, I have to admit, depending on your mech, all your trees will be different. For example, if you have a very glass cannon size glass cannon mech, where your weapons obviously are doing tons of damage, but you find that you get shot up really easily, you're obviously going to go armor. A couple things you need to know. Skeletal density, or not skeletal density, sorry. Reinforcement. Reinforcement casting. Very, very important if you're getting critted a lot. If you're noticing that the players that you're getting, that you're playing against are getting those weapons knocked out very fast on you, reinforced casting. Very important. There's an option right here for high explosive for missiles to actually do a bigger, a better and bigger critical chance. It's always a big deal. Overall, I found that if you play your mech and you see how it feels as it goes, it you get a better build. You get a better build. It feels better. It is just what you need. So with that in mind, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.